Imagine picking up the phone to ask about your daughter's wedding, only to hear her husband sneer, "We tied the knot last weekend. Only the VIPs made the cut." Those words shatter your world, revealing the truth about the people you've sacrificed everything for. Stick around for a story of betrayal, courage, and a mother's fight to reclaim her life. It'll leave you speechless. In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, Oregon, 62-year-old Evelyn Harper clutched her phone, her heart pounding with excitement. She'd spent months dreaming about her daughter Sophie's wedding, imagining herself in a lavender dress she'd saved $300 for, beaming in photos beside her only child. For 5 years, Evelyn had been the backbone of Sophie and her husband Liam's life in Portland. She'd paid their $600 monthly rent, stocked their pantry when funds ran low, and even gifted them a $2,000 couch for their new apartment. Every sacrifice was worth it, she thought, to see her daughter happy. But as she dialed Sophie's number, Liam answered, his voice dripping with smugness. "Oh, Evelyn, we got married last Saturday. Just kept it exclusive, VIPs only." The words sliced through her like a winter wind. VIPs only. Evelyn, who'd cancelled her own dental appointments to cover their car repairs, wasn't a VIP. She stood frozen in her cosy living room, the phone heavy as a brick, watching Sophie in the background, giggling without a hint of guilt. The lavender dress hung untouched in her closet, a cruel reminder of her exclusion from the day she'd poured her heart into planning. She'd set aside $1,500 for a wedding gift, called her brother Tom in Seattle to share the joy, and scrubbed her house spotless, expecting a celebratory visit. All for nothing. Liam's words echoed, VIPs only. Later that evening, Evelyn scrolled through Instagram, her chest tightening as she saw the truth. Sophie's parents-in-law, grinning beside the newlyweds, her cousins clinking wine glasses. Sophie in a $1,200 gown Evelyn had unknowingly helped fund with last month's emergency loan. The betrayal burned deeper than she'd imagined. A week later, Sophie's name flashed on Evelyn's phone. Her voice was shaky, far from the carefree laugh of before. "Mum, we're behind on rent. The landlord's threatening eviction if we don't pay $200 by Friday. Can you help?" Evelyn's mind raced back to the countless times she'd rushed to. Their rescue, $400 for utilities, $700 for Liam's business venture, $25,000 total over 5 years, pulled from her savings, her late husband George's life insurance, her dreams of a quiet retirement. And now, after being sidelined from their wedding, they dared to call as if nothing had changed. "Sophie," Evelyn said, her voice steady as stone, "I only help VIPs." The silence on the other end was deafening. Sophie stammered, "Mum, what? You've always been there for us. Your family." But Evelyn saw through the rehearsed sweetness, the tone Sophie used only when she needed cash. "Family doesn't exclude family," she replied, hanging up. That night, Evelyn sat on her porch, the Oregon stars above her, and let the tears come, not of sorrow, but of rage. She'd spent years tiptoeing around their feelings, cancelling her book club to fund their whims, eating canned soup to afford their groceries. VIPs only had snapped something inside her. She wasn't just hurt, she was done. By morning, a fire burned in her chest. She looked in the mirror, seeing not just the greying hair and tired eyes of a 62-year-old widow, but a spark of defiance. She brewed her coffee, sat at her oak table, where she'd once counted out bills for Sophie, and pulled out her bank statements. The numbers told a brutal story. $600 rent times 60 months equaled $36,000. Groceries, $300 monthly, added $18,000. Gifts, emergencies, that couch, another $11,000. Nearly $65,000 drained from her nest egg, her security, her future, all to be deemed not a VIP. Her phone buzzed. Liam's name appeared. She let it ring, sipping her coffee as if it were victory. A text followed. "Mum, please, we're in trouble. Talk to us." She deleted it without a second thought. Evelyn walked to Willow Creek Park, a place she hadn't visited for herself in years. She passed the swings where Sophie once laughed as a child, her tiny hands gripping Evelyn's. When had her daughter become this stranger? When had Evelyn mistaken money for love? At the bank, she met her longtime manager, Ms. Carter, who'd processed every transfer to Sophie and Liam. "Evelyn, I need to cancel all automatic payments to my daughter," she said. Ms. Carter's eyes widened. "Are you sure? You've been so generous." Evelyn smiled wryly. "Too generous. It's time I invest in myself." Ms. Carter nodded, processing the request. As Evelyn left, her phone buzzed again. Sophie, then Liam. Sure enough, Sophie and Liam filed a lawsuit, claiming Evelyn was mentally unfit. They cited her sudden financial cut-off and paranoid cameras. Ms. Patel arranged a psychiatric evaluation with Dr. Nguyen, who confirmed Evelyn's sharp cognition. Clara and her painting classmates offered to testify to Evelyn's vitality. The trial loomed, but Evelyn felt ready. On the day, she wore a crisp navy blazer, standing tall at 62. Sophie's lawyer painted her as a confused recluse, but Ms. Patel dismantled their case. Evelyn's testimony was unflinching. "I gave them $65,000 over 5 years. They repaid me by excluding me from their wedding and calling me a nobody. I'm not incompetent. I'm awake." Dr. Nguyen's report and Clara's testimony sealed it. The judge ruled in Evelyn's favour, denying the guardianship request. Outside, Sophie's icy stare met Evelyn's calm resolve. That night, Clara hosted a celebration. "To Evelyn's freedom," they toasted. Months later, Evelyn sold her house, moving to a vibrant Portland loft. She donated $30,000 to elder abuse prevention, travelled to Italy, and painted daily. Sophie and Liam faded from her life, reportedly struggling to pay their own way. Under the stars, Evelyn reflected on her journey. She'd once equated love with money, but no more. At 62, she'd learned her worth wasn't in her wallet. It was in her heart, her art, her freedom. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment. What would you do in Evelyn's shoes? Subscribe for more stories of courage and transformation. Your support keeps these tales alive. Until next time, stay strong.